Thank you for the beautiful prayer and the meditation. And I had planned on singing a completely different song, but because I want to hear your voices, we're going to do that song that we did last night, I Am Here for God. Would you join me and sing that one? Okay, we'll do it. I am here for God. There we go. Are you ready to sing with me? Yes. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, here we are. Let's take a nice big breath. Here we go. I'm here to wake up. I'm here to shake it up. May I live in authenticity. Every day I'm waking up. Every day I shake it up for the highest and best of who I'm called to be. I'm rising higher, loving deeper. I'm rising higher, I'm loving deeper, expanding wider. I am here for God. Lift spirits higher, connecting deeper, opening wider. I am here for God. We're singing God in me, as me, through me. Here we go. God in me, as me. God as me, through me. God through me. I am here for God again. God in me, as me. God as me, through me. God through me. I am here for God. I'm here to wake up. I'm here to shake it up. May I live in authenticity. Every day I'm waking up. Every day I shake it up for the highest and best of who I'm called to be. Ready? Rising higher, loving deeper. I'm rising higher. I'm loving deeper. Opening wider. Yes, I am here for God. Lift spirits higher, connecting deeper. Opening wider. I am here for God. God in me, as me, through me. Here we go. God in me, as me. God as me, through me. God through me. I am here for God. God in me, as me. God as me, through me. God through me. I am here for God again. God in me. Do you believe it? God as me, through me. God through me. I am here for God. One more time now. God in me. Like you mean it. God as me. Like you mean it. God through me. I am here for God. Amen.
Y'all sounded great.
Oh, imagine that.
Let me find my way into my spot. Happy Father's Day. And well, yeah, you know, who actually has a child that they father? Anyone? Yeah, we have some people that are fathers. And then who has some fur babies that you father? Right? Yep. Kaylin and Yara kept my precious Zoomer while I was away, and I'm grateful. She behaves better when she comes back. So I'm grateful for that too. So see, Zoomer's not the one that needs training. I am, right? Because sometimes in our wisdom, sometimes in our what we think is our wisdom is really just I know better. You know, I know better than you. You ever had you knew better than somebody else, and it was really your ego? Really, your ego was in there, and you're like, oh yeah, I know better than that person does. But here's the thing: if you didn't raise your hand yet, go ahead and raise your hand, because the truth is we all are fathers. Yes, just the same as we are all mothers, right? Remember that when we talked on Mother's Day, and we talked about nurturing, right? Remember that spare the rod and spoil the child, right? Terrible theology if you don't understand it, right? Because the sparing the rod means that you don't gently bring your thoughts, your children, gently bring your spouse, right, into the alignment of truth. It's not about whipping someone, right? The rod was used to, not beat the children or beat the sheep or anything else. It's to ward off danger. It's to push away that which would have us not know the truth of who we are. Yes? So we now we get to combine this idea of our nurturing nature with our wisdom. Right? Our wisdom. Anybody remember the color for wisdom? Nobody remembers wisdom, do they? Kurt, I didn't wear a shirt because the color for wisdom doesn't really look very good on me, so I don't wear it. Curtis had on a beautiful yellow shirt last night, and Carol's wearing one today. And so yellow is wisdom. Yellow is the color of wisdom in our 12 powers, and wisdom is what we combine with, you may remember? With love. Right? Because love without wisdom is foolhardy and foolish. Anybody ever been foolishly in love? Yeah, that's why I am so grateful that the internet did not exist when I was young and foolish. There's enough craziness on there now that's there, right? And so we partner our wisdom with our love, because if not, we know that our love is ridiculous when it's not paired with our wisdom. But our wisdom needs our love as well, yes? Because wisdom without love can be harsh, cannot feel good. You ever had that? It's sometimes when we know that we know that we know, and we don't temper that with our love, people can be like, wow, he's a jerk, right? Maybe that's just the voice in the back of my head. This week, you all know that I was at the Unity Convention, and one of the main speakers, Martha Creek, talked about how people are going to say things about you, right? And she was like, "So what? Are they really thinking something about you that you've never thought about yourself?" Right? I was like, that was worth the price of admission right there to be like, oh my goodness, right? Because we all have some untrue thoughts about ourselves, right? So we need to get out the rod and the staff and direct them with our love and our nurturing to know the truth, to know the real wisdom that is within us, yes? It's not always easy to do. I don't think. I'm going to push that up so I don't knock it over and set the building on fire. So when I was looking at this idea of our wisdom and our fathers, it occurred to me, I don't know if y'all know this, but sometimes fathers make mistakes. Anybody had that experience? Maybe, yeah. Oh, hey. Sometimes our fathers make mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes, yes? Do you know what today is as well as being Father's Day? Juneteenth. I love that everyone here yelled that out. Today is Juneteenth. Y'all know what Juneteenth is for? You get a history lesson today too. Isn't that exciting? See, Juneteenth is when we celebrate the fact that the United States is willing to learn from their mistakes. Amen. And do things differently. right? Because we've done some stuff wrong, right? Because our founding fathers, we like to say, oh, they wrote this beautiful document that says all men are created equal, right? All men are created equal. Well, let me tell you what, when you have a conversation about all people and all people are not represented at the table, you don't really mean all people, right? So when they wrote all people are created equal, they meant men that wore high heels and wigs. Because that's what they used, that's how they dressed, right? Did you know that? Yeah, they had powdered wigs, to help. They powdered them to keep the lice out. The things I bring back from costume history, it's amazing. Our founding fathers maybe made some mistakes. And I love that Maya Angelou used to say, when you know better, you do better. You've heard that, right? When you know better, you do better. But if you still don't do better, then in truth, you really don't know better yet. Because when we know that we know that we know, we take action. We live differently. Yes? And so this idea of Juneteenth is a commemoration of when the slaves in the state of Texas, or the territory of Texas, I don't know, was it a state yet? See, it's right now, Sally Rassick, y'all don't know who Sally is. Sally Rassick tutored me in world history when I was in college. And the very fact that I have dates written down so I can remember some of this stuff, she would be very proud. She would be very proud that I was doing that. And Sally Rassick had, y'all listen to this, she had a very odd dialect to me. Everybody thinks I have a dialect, but Sally was from Ghana. And she is the only reason that I passed world history when I was in college. And I wish I knew where she was today so I could send her a thank you card. But, we have to go back and look at what we did so we can know if it was done from a wisdom, right? This place where we know that we know that we know from a place of oneness, or are we trying to be right? Were we trying to be in control? Were we doing something in lack consciousness where we believed there would not be enough? Y'all ever done that? Any lack consciousness out there? So we have to keep bringing ourselves back to the truth that we live in a place of abundance. Yes. So we get to tap into this truth, this wisdom, where we know that the Father and I are one. Right? This transcendent yet immanent experience of the divine that is always available to us. But we have to make sure we change our thoughts, right? We have to make sure that we direct ourselves to be living in accordance with the truth that we know. And so Juneteenth is a celebration of freedom. See, I believe that freedom, true freedom, is living in the wisdom of our oneness. So we have to continuously bring ourselves back to the truth. Every time one of those thoughts comes up that others people, right? We get to forgive that. We get to heal that. We get to return to center, that place when we meditated, the place where we are peace, where we are love, where we know our oneness. And we have to do that 70 times 7, right? Over and over and over again until it is complete, until it is the truth of us. Until it is the truth of us. I see one of the things about knowing our history is also looking to see, okay, how can we do better? If we know better, are we doing better? What can we do to be better in this world? And over my preparation this week to do this message and to talk about this idea of wisdom of fathers and this idea of freedom and Juneteenth, I found out some stuff because I like to believe that unity has always been light and love. Don't you? Always been light and love. And that's not quite true. It's not quite true. Charles and Myrtle founded unity in 1889, right, in what was the territory of Missouri. And Missouri became a state, and at the time that they were making new states in this union that we had, you had some states that would be designated as slave states and some that would be free states. And so Maine became a free state because Missouri was started as a slave state. Interestingly enough, in a 1927 speech by Charles Fillmore, he said, "We see no separation in color, in race, in sect, in creed, in anything. We are all one in spirit." Isn't that beautiful to say that in 1927, but then to find out that in other transcripts of his talks, he would make black jokes. So we have an opportunity to do better as we lead this movement, as we show up in the world to hold this truth of oneness. We have to know that even in our history, in our heritage of a movement, of a message, that we have to be vigilant about knowing our biases and healing those. We have to know better so we do better. Yes?
Yes.
Because if we want to be free, does anybody here not want to be free? Do you want to be shackled? Anybody? You all want to be free, right? Yes, say, I want to be free. I want to be free. Now see, the truth is about freedom at the level of spirit. If anyone is in bondage, then none of us are free. Yes? Because at the level of spirit, we are all one. I was excited to find out that in 1901, is anybody familiar with We Wisdom magazine? We Wisdom magazine at the time was the longest published magazine in the history of the United States for children. We Wisdom. And it was published, of course, by Unity. Like, we published a couple of magazines, like the Daily Word, and we published We Wisdom, which was a magazine for children that introduced these ideas of new thought to children. And in 1901, the cover illustration included a black child, which is pretty amazing. I love that because it moves in the direction of let's reflect the truth we know. Right? The truth we know that we are not separate in color, in race, in sect, in creed, in anything. Right? Who you choose to love, whatever. We are all one at the level of spirit. And so we have to see with our spiritual eyes. So we get to heal this. And we started moving in the right direction, right? Because y'all remember when Rosa Parks decided she was not going to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus, right? Remember that? I used to live in Montgomery. Y'all know that. I've lived there for 9 years. And when the Rosa Parks Museum opened, their big marketing ploy was to have advertisements on the buses. And I always thought that was a little odd. But a couple of months before Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, you might know the name Johnny Coleman. Johnny Coleman, anybody? Johnny Coleman was a student at Unity Village, but she was a black student, so she was not allowed to live on campus. So she lived in Kansas City, and she would commute I think it's 17 miles each way. Kansas City's got a lot bigger since then, but so she had to commute. And one day her car broke down, and she had to walk to campus, and it took a couple of hours, and it was pouring down rain. And she arrived on campus and she said, "This is it. I am done. I am never coming back here." And she was the only black student. And all the white students started a petition and told Unity Village that they had to accommodate her on campus. And so they took this old cabin and they said, "Sure, you can live here." And she knew from looking at the cabin that it was an effort to appease people, but they really did not think that she would take them up on it. But she did. And if you know the Christ Universal Temple in Chicago, it's this huge temple. She started her own New Thought tradition called the Universal Foundation for Better Living. And it is still one of the largest churches in Chicago that teaches a New Thought message. This message that we teach, that if you want life to be different, you have to have a new thought. And you have to live from the truth you know. You have to live from this place of wisdom that's paired with your love. Yes? And so when I thought about this, and I don't have a yellow shirt and I don't have a pink shirt because those colors do not look good on me, I thought, well, I can wear this shirt and this shirt, right? Because this is about imagination and renunciation, right? Because we have to imagine a world where we all know ourselves as one, where everyone that we encounters respect and joy and love. Yes? And renunciation, because we're giving up these ideas that we are different. We are giving up these ideas that anybody's better than anybody else, right? For whatever reason. So that came up this week as I was attending some of these sessions in this convention where we talked about how we other each other. And we, if you looked at your email this week, you're all going to pull out your phones and look at it a little bit. I stopped putting on there that Reverend Todd was doing something, and I just put Todd. Because I'm licensed now as a Unity minister. I'm ordained as an interfaith minister. One day I'll be ordained as a Unity minister, and I love that. But I don't want to put a hierarchy. I don't want to put up a barrier. I want to hold the truth that you are an eternal, individualized expression of this thing we call the Christ. And we don't want to put anything in between that, between any of us. Because we have to behold the truth. We have to hold the truth of who we are in spirit. Yes? So y'all start paying attention to the colors you wear. Right? Because it sounds silly, but if you want more energy and more vitality in your life, start wearing orange. Why do you think I have an orange car? Right? If you feel like your faith is struggling, then you need to be wearing dark blue. Right? These things have a vibration, right? Who believes in vibration? Well, just about every hand went up, right? These things have a vibration and they affect us. And so when we are vibrating at the right and proper place, we know the truth. We know that I am an individualized expression of an eternal truth. Right? And when we know that truth, we can pull out those four gateways of anything that we have to say, right? Anybody ever remember those? That's before you say anything, you send it through a 4-step process. Some people only use 3. Is it true? Right? Is it nice? Is it necessary? Because a lot of things are true and it's not necessary to say, right? Sometimes you feel like something's necessary to say, and it's probably not really true. You don't believe that? Come and stay with me for a week. And the last one, that last question that I like to ask is it mine to say? Is it mine to do? Right? Because sometimes we take on too much. Anybody do that? We take on too much. So our assignment this week is to partner our wisdom with our love. Pay attention to what we're wearing, right? Like, well, I don't know all the colors, Todd, right? Got a question?
What are the other two?
Renunciation and imagination. We imagine the world we want. We release that which we don't, right? See, this year we're playing with this idea that it's not just about, it's not just about love. It's how we have to put everything together and make it work together, right? Because we're learning to put them all together. We're going to see, now you're jumping into next week. Right? Because if we remember from our Pentecost service, right? We remember from Pentecost when they're all in one place, when we have all of our 12 powers in one place and the truth descends, right? Our wisdom, the Holy Ghost comes down and we are filled with the Spirit, and we know that we know that we know, and we live from the truth of who we are. Right? We get to stand up and shout from the housetops. That's all you're going to get. You have to come back next week. That's what I got for you today, and I hope that something resonated. Am I done? No, I'm not done. I need to say this again. How delighted we are to have you with us, Deidrey, and have you with us, Ricky. It is amazing to have you here in our space. And we've got another 17 people that are watching on Zoom. We wish y'all were here, but like Ann she's waiting in Canada for y'all to come home. And then we have people live on Facebook. We're delighted that everyone is here, because at the level of spirit, there's only here and now. Yes? And so it is. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Rev Todd. Oh, thank you, Todd. See, I'm listening. I'm paying attention. At the level of spirit, it's all about oneness. So I'm going to sing One Heart, One Mind. When I look at you, I see God shining through in all you do. When you look at me, do you see that the best of you is the best of me? One heart, one mind, one heart, one mind, one voice shining as the light, one soul, the essence of being, one God, Spirit divine. When I look within, I see God molding me lovingly. Everything I say and everything I do deepens my connection with you. One heart, one mind, one voice shining. One heart, one mind, one voice shining as the light. One soul, shining as the light. One soul essence, the essence of